Well, we are back, and now we welcome Russell Lawson from the Ideas Distillery. And staying with us is Robert. Thank you so much indeed.
Pleasure.
So tell us all about what exactly it is you do.
I love
Thank
the
you for joining
word,
us.
the name, Ideas Distillery. It's sort of...
Well, that actually comes from when I was setting up the business. We actually had a visit to Penderyn Distillery.
I was just going to say, because I've heard
I,
of the Penderyn Distillery.
That's right, yeah. So that's kind of where we took it from. And the idea is that it's about getting businesses more business. It actually started out as a Welsh Government programme that we used to run, very sexily titled a Business Growth Leadership Programme. So basically it is about getting businesses really to grips with digital marketing, with using automated marketing, using social media, tendering for more business and getting their businesses in the sort of position where they can run for tenders.
We've got a fantastic DVD to watch. So, sorry, a clip of it, not a DVD. Sorry. So let's take a look at this.
Make it all look so easy. Clearly it isn't, or we'd all be saying that is.
But on a serious note, what we saw there, you're right, Gaynor, it's not easy at all, isn't it? I mean, today's, whatever business, whatever genre you're in, whether it be music or whether it be a selling point of view, we were discussing that earlier, marketing and social media is the key today for anybody to have any chance of success, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of businesses out there who are very good at what they do, and you can't expect a business that's very good at what it does, whether they be an electrician or plumbing or whatever it is, but also be an expert in social media and marketing and the digital landscape. So, there is this kind of support, I think, really taking businesses by and showing them that you can actually get results if you do things properly, and you don't just get a business which maybe starts a Twitter account and says, well, why isn't everybody coming to me for my business?
Well, I think people of our generation, if I may suggest so, think that might be all a little bit of guff. You really just need to deliver a good service.
No, you've got to come forward into the 21st century. The technology, this is what the City Deal is all about. Making sure that our region is there at the cutting edge and above every other region.
So you're going to be employing Russell then?
Well, it is, as I said earlier, a Team Swansea approach, and working with, Buy for Wales, that we want the plumbers, the electricians, all those people who are in the business to make sure that they're getting the contracts in this regeneration and this building work that's going to go on. Creating that employment, nothing more important. But they've got to get the message out to people.
Yes, but I think that when you get to people of my level, for instance, one of the things I do, I run a small media training company, you're rather put off when you're a one-man band. You've got all these tenders and all these different things you have to put in for the Welsh Government. Money's an issue, time's an issue. It is difficult for someone on a small scale.
It is difficult, but it's done because from a public sector point of view, they want to know that the businesses they're dealing with.
But they're paid to tick all these boxes and things.
Well, they have a certain level of quality management or health and safety management, their environmental obligations. So to a business that's doing a good job, these are things which they're not really that interested in, but the public sector needs to know that these things are being addressed, and this is why you find that companies which do win contracts usually have accreditations like ISO 9001 or OSAS 18001, and they do help to manage a business and make sure it's
I would have already gone on to
compliant.
do something else. So how can you help with that?
Well, that's what we do. We look at the business, we basically formalise what they're already doing, because this, in essence, is what it's all about. If a business is actually running itself well, our job is actually very easy. You just go in, we formalise what they're already doing, then an external auditor comes in and ticks the boxes and say, yes, you're doing it right, running your business right, here's your certificate.
You make it sound so easy, as Gaynor said, but it is quite a complicated process, isn't it? And with the help, with the people like yourself. I mean, for example, explain to us the sales booster. Explain us about that, because that to people can be a massive help in companies, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, this basically is automated marketing. So it's a way of using the client base that you already have and the contacts that you already have, and then putting them into a marketing system where you're emailing them, but in a personal way. Right. So even though you're emailing a large number of people, you're doing it in a personal way. So people think they're actually talking to you as an individual, and of course that means that the business can then get on with running the business, if you like, doing the business while it's got this marketing constantly going on in the background.
In your opinion, then, what would you say is the fundamental error everybody seems to be making in business at the moment?
I think the fundamental error is, as I say, just opening a plethora of accounts, say a Facebook account or a LinkedIn account, Twitter account.
That sounds like me.
Putting a few things up and then expecting all business to come in. It's about servicing it. It's about getting your name out there, getting your brand out there, putting useful things out there so people see you as an expert in your field and someone that they should be speaking to, approaching individuals directly.
So on that level, though, you could say that, social media could work against you sometime. It
can do. If, as I say, you set up accounts and then you don't do anything with them and you just leave them dormant, and then somebody sort of clicks on your Twitter icon on your website and then goes and looks at your feed and there's nothing on there, well, then people think, well, obviously they're not really bothered with this, so why should I bother with this company?
I'm just thinking now that with all this excitement around the City deal and hopefully the Lagoon, there are going to be lots of small companies who might have been having a hard time, are going to think, this is my big chance. How, Robert and Russell, do we link this all up? How do we get them out there so that they're there?
I think we're connecting very well already, and I look at the big campuses you coming into Swansea, there was like £400 million spent.
Are these all big companies?
No, there was some medium-sized and small companies in Swansea.
What's a small company?
Well, probably employing a few dozen people. That went enormous because of the contracts that they were going there. Glazing companies, bricklaying companies, they were really, the universities, both universities, are wanting to work with people to create wealth and keep it in the locality. So there are people, like the companies that can help people. They may not have those skills, so it's getting those skills to be able to take advantage. We want to keep the money local, spent local, because that gets regenerated back into the economy.
And you can help with that, Russell?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the City Region deal, for example, it is about very much getting an infrastructure in place and putting a platform there for businesses to perform well. And obviously that's the bit where I come in and try and help businesses perform well. But it's going to be a combination, I think, of startups and attracting established businesses into the region, saying, look at this fantastic infrastructure we've got, you need to be based here because of the sort of lightning fast access to markets that you're going to have. So, we really look forward to working with businesses.
But we've mentioned money there, and for example, if somebody came to you and you were able to help them, is it an expensive thing? Is it something, like you said, you've mentioned anybody could come to you with regarding what career or what business it is, but how are we talking cost-wise? Is it a lot of money? Or
not particularly. I mean, what we do is it depends what the business wants. It's as simple as that. You've got some businesses who maybe are already active on social media but want a bit more digital marketing, or they really want to go for the tender market. I mean, you mentioned obviously your bricklayers and plumbers, and so these are very much infrastructure businesses who can get on not just public sector tenders but also private sector supply chains with large construction companies. But there are compliance implications. They do need to have the right tickets, the right certificates.
It can happen. Yes. All those years ago when they built the M4, there were literally people working with their hands and their shovels who are very wealthy men now running big organisations. So I think it can happen if you've got the drive and the power and you can pull in the help.
This is
just in a few seconds.
This is part of the new industrial revolution. The industrial revolution, the metallurgical industries in Swansea made Swansea great. Through innovation again, we are now going into the next industrial revolution. Swansea must be at the forefront.
Thank you. Thank you to all
gentlemen.
our guests, Russell, Robert, Christina, Reese, and all. Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, don't forget our Afternoon Talking Pictures movie presents today with a comedy. It's a 1952 comedy, Gaynor. You're Only Young Twice.
Oh, yes, me.
Do you know the film, Gaynor?
No.
Okay, it's
Fun
starring
mantra.
Duncan McRae, Joseph, I'm going to get all these words wrong, Charles Hoherty, Ronnie Corbett and Patrick Bay. A new
great lineup.
Lord arrives at Skidmore University but turns out to be a very attractive young woman. Interesting, Gaynor. Don't miss that. Settle down and watch it. We'll see you Monday.